Alright, so good morning to one and all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Alright, so in the last session, we were discussed about the various elements which come across in our AC system. So, in which the let me give you the summary of the last session that what we had seen as like this. So, if we have a resistor excited with a voltage whose nature let me write as V of t, and as a result of this voltage across this resistance R, it results a current of I of t flowing through the resistor. So try to observe here that this small case letters of voltage and current represents instantaneous values which are usually function of time function. And similarly, let me take the other two elements, then proceed further. That is inductor, whose inductance is L. If it is excited with again certain voltage V of t, results a current of I of t which is passing through the inductor. Similarly, let me take one more element which is the capacitor. If the capacitor of capacitance C is excited with a voltage of V of t, which results a current of I of t. Now try to observe that everything is represented here as a function of time. So we call these elements as time domain equivalent. Time domain equivalent. So in which just try to see the voltage current relationship for every element. These are three elements in time domain. So as per Ohm's law, we can write V of t is equal to current into the resistance. V of t is equal to I of t into R. Whereas for the inductor, V of t is equal to L into di of t by dt. The voltage is proportional to rate of change of the current, that is d by dt of I of t for the inductor. So these relationship must be clear for everyone in time domain. Whereas for the capacitor, I of t is equal to C into d of t divided by dt, d of vt divided by dt. These are the three important voltage current relationship for the time domain equivalent of resistor, inductor and capacitor. Now, when we deal these elements in the AC system, which are usually excited by the sinusoidal, and it is preferably to use the phasor form in which the function of time will be eliminated. So we call such a domain as frequency domain. Frequency domain. So here we will not see voltage, current, everything as a function of time. Just we see everything as phasor domain or phasor form. Let us see again these elements in the frequency domain, how we represent. If we have a resistance of resistor R and its equivalent in frequency domain also represents as R, and if the voltage across this is V bar, which represents phasor form of this voltage V of t, and it results a current of I bar which represents phasor form of this I of t. Then in frequency domain, we can write the phasor relationship between voltage and current as V bar is equal to I bar into R. This is what the voltage current relationship for a resistor. In the same way, let me take up the inductor. Now, we seen in the last session the inductor property that when we took the ratio between voltage and current, how much we got is j omega L, which is equivalent to the impedance of the inductor, which can be written as simply jXL. Now, instead of representing inductor as simply L, I am representing the inductance, its equivalent value in the form of impedance, which is equal to jXL, where XL is the inductive reactance, which is equal to omega L, which is the function of frequency. See this? The impedance is function of frequency. That's why it is frequency domain equivalent. Now, if this element of the impedance JXL is excited with a voltage of V bar and it results a current of I bar, then the voltage current relationship for this is V is equal to I into ZL. This can also be referred as inductive impedance ZL, which is equal to JXL. So simply ZL as like resistor, one term as ZL, where one can write this sometimes as ZL can be written as so JXL also. This is what the frequency domain equivalent of the inductor and its voltage current relationship. Similarly, let us see the capacitor part. If we have a capacitor of capacitance C, its equivalent in frequency domain can be represented as by the impedance ZC, which is equal to minus JXC, where XC is referred as capacitive reactance, which is equal to 1 by omega C. XC is referred as capacitive reactance, which is equal to 1 by omega C. Now, if this element is excited with a voltage of V bar and it results a current of I bar, then voltage current relationship in the frequency domain is V is equal to I into ZC. Just like V is equal to IR form. So instead of resistance, we use impedance. If it is inductor, we use inductive impedance ZL. If it is capacitor, we use capacitive impedance ZC, which is equal to I into minus JXC. So this is what the voltage current relationship in frequency domain. These three elements are very important in understanding the entire AC circuits, series and parallel combination of these RLC. So we should understand this voltage current relationship for these three elements in frequency domain as well as in time domain. Okay, right. So now let us proceed in choosing the combination of these elements, which are like, first I will try to choose the series circuits. So let us say heading as series AC circuits, series AC circuits, in which first let me take series combination of resistance and inductance, series RL circuit, series RL circuit. Now what we do is that just let me take the time domain circuit initially, then decide I will try to take its frequency domain circuit. So a resistance of R is connected in series with an inductor as like this, and whose natures will be this is R, this is L, and if the total voltage across this is V of t and current passing through this entire series circuit is I of t, and if voltage across the resistor is V suffix R means resistor voltage, and similarly voltage across the inductor is V suffix L of T dt. V suffix L of T is the voltage across the inductor. So this is in time domain. So now its equivalent in frequency domain we can show as like this. If we have a resistance of R and it is combination with a inductance of L, but in frequency domain I try to represent this as simply JXL. Now everything I will try to show in the phasor form as V bar is the total voltage, current passing through this is I bar, and voltage across this resistor is V R bar, and voltage across the inductor is V L bar. This is what the frequency domain equivalent. Now usually the generalized way of analysis is that whenever we take series circuits, in series circuit for both series connected elements, the current is the common parameter. See that I of t is current passing through the resistor, which is same for the inductor also. So in series circuit usually the current is common parameter. So we choose that current as the reference. Let the current I of t as something like this. I am cos omega t, or you can choose even sine also, nothing wrong in that. So you can choose either sine or cos, it's your wish. Ultimately we will get all conclusions in same whether you choose sinusoidal function of sine or cosine. Okay, so just let me proceed in assuming this current and I will try to calculate rest of all. So this is the known information. Now immediately I will jump into the phasor representation of this current and I will proceed everything in phasor domain. If somewhere I need the time domain back, I will try to convert phasor domain to time domain. So here let me say I bar is equal to Im by root 2 at an angle of 0. So instead of writing every time Im by root 2, simply I will write this as I at an angle of 0 degree. What is I is RMS value of I is equal to, let me write small case letter Im by root 2. What does it represent? Im is peak value of the current I of t. So which is the RMS value, value of what? I of t. See this I of t. So hereafter we use the capital case letter to represent the RMS value and small case letters to represent the instantaneous values. Clear? Right. So now we have the current. Now it is easy to see what will be the voltage across the resistor. So can I write voltage across the resistor VR is equal to the current into, just now we had seen the relationship for a resistor. See this? V is equal to I into R. So now the same concept you implement here. How much is current passing through resistor? I. So into resistance. Clear? So this we can write further that I means I bar. See here, it is phasor form. I bar can be written as I at an angle 0 into R, which can be written as simply IR at an angle of 0. This is what the voltage across the resistor phasor whose magnitude is equal to I into R, where I is the RMS value of the current into resistance, is what the magnitude of the voltage across the resistor. And how much is the angle of the resistor voltage? 0. See that how much is the angle of the current through the resistor? 0. So now could you confirm that voltage across the resistor and current through the resistor both are having same phase angle, thereby we can call this as in phase. Voltage and current for a resistor are always in phase. Clear? Now let me take the inductor voltage. How can I find the inductor voltage? I already know current through the inductor. How much is that? Same current that what has passed through the resistor. I bar. Why? Because it is a series circuit. So I bar into ZL. How much is the ZL? And how much is the I bar? Just try to substitute it. So I bar is equal to I at an angle 0 and ZL can be written as JXL. So let me write here itself. So JXL and JXL can be written as in polar form as XL at an angle of 90. XL at an angle of 90. And these are two complex numbers multiplication which can be written as product of the magnitudes, that is I into XL, and addition of the angles, which is 0 plus 90 is 90. That is IXL at an angle of 90. Now see that how much is the voltage across the inductor? Magnitude is current magnitude into impedance magnitude. Let me write here one more step here about the inductive impedance. ZL is what the inductive impedance, which is equal to JXL, which is usually can be written as 0 plus JXL. See here, which look like A plus JBL, A plus JB form. Now, how much is the magnitude? Square root of 0 square plus XL square, which gives XL. How much is the angle? Tan inverse of B by A. What is B here? XL. A is 0. So, tan inverse infinite is 90. So, at an angle of 90. So, this you should understand that JXL can be written as XL at an angle of 90, where J is equivalent to 90 degrees. Remember this information that J is equal to 1 at an angle of 90 in polar form. What about minus J? 1 at an angle minus 90. Okay, this information you try to understand carefully. Okay, right. So now I got the voltage across the inductor and voltage across the resistor. Just as like the Kirchhoff voltage law in DC circuit, can I apply here to get the total voltage V for this circuit KVL? Like V is equal to VR plus VL. This arrowhead represents plus equivalent. Non-arrowhead represents minus equivalent. Now you apply the Kirchhoff voltage law. How much you will get? V is equal to VR plus VL. So let me substitute that. So now let me write by KVL V is equal to VR plus VL. So quickly substitute this. How much is the VR? I into R at an angle of 0 plus, so I into XL at an angle of 90. Now whenever you have addition, so better to express in rectangle form. Whenever you have multiplication, better to express in polar form. So that the addition will become easy and multiplication will become easy when they are expressed in their respective forms. What I'll do is that this I'll write as IR plus J0 means IR simply. This I'll write as IXL into J. Why? Because angle 90 degrees is equivalent to J. So this represents simply, I can take the current magnitude common, which represents R plus JXL. So which is equal to the impedance of the total circuit, that is ZT. I can write ZT here as R plus JXL, which is basically impedance of the resistor, that is ZR, plus impedance of the inductor, that is ZL. How much is the impedance of the resistor? Is resistance only. ZR is equal to R, whereas ZL is equal to JXL. As like if two resistors are connected in series, the total resistance is sum of the resistors. In the same way here also, sum of the impedances is what the total impedance, which we had seen here. See, the total voltage across the circuit is equal to current magnitude into the impedance. And if we want, we can write this further one more step ahead, that this current can be written as I bar. Why? Because, or let me take one more step. I can be written as I at an angle 0 into ZT. What is I at an angle 0 is I bar. So I bar into ZT is what? V bar. See here, everything carefully. And this further I can write one more step ahead, that this ZT can be expressed as square root of R square plus XL square at an angle of tan inverse XL by R. What I had written, tell me? This rectangle form I converted into polar form. Got my point? ZT can be written as like this. If somebody has A plus JB, can I write this as A square plus B square at an angle of tan inverse B by A? Clear? So in the same way, I converted this rectangle form into polar form. So which gives the magnitude, let me write as mod ZT at an angle of some theta, where mod ZT is equal to magnitude of the impedance, this impedance ZT. How much is that? Square root of R square plus XL square. What is the angle theta? Theta is tan inverse imaginary part divided by real part. Imaginary part is XL here, real part is R. So now, can I write this ZT as mod ZT at an angle theta? In polar form, ZT can be written as mod ZT at an angle theta. And just one more step ahead, that I can be written as I at an angle 0 into mod ZT at an angle theta, which is simply I mod ZT at an angle of 0 plus theta is theta. Now see that total voltage phasor is having magnitude which is equal to magnitude of the current into magnitude of the total impedance, and angle of this voltage is theta. Angle of this voltage is theta. Now quickly let us put everything into phasor diagram. That, so we know the current first. How much is the current? Tell me. Current is having a magnitude of I. Angle of the current is, one should speak about these things. This is 0 degree. So angle of the current is I at an angle 0, right? So angle of the current is 0. Now next what I will do is that I will try to plot what is voltage across the resistor, which is I into R, that will be having same phase angle. See here, VR is equal to I into R is the magnitude. How much is the angle? 0. So let me draw that. So I into R means definitely little longer than I. This is what I into R. So what does it represent? I into R, magnitude of the voltage across the resistor. How much is its angle? 0. That's why it is lying on the 0 axis. Okay. So this is what VR magnitude, mod. Mod of VR bar means magnitude of the voltage across the resistor. Next is, once VR is completed, now let us move on to the VL, which is IXL at an angle of 90. IXL at an angle of 90. So now see that where is the angle 90 degrees? Plus 90 degrees. Plus angles are measured in which direction? Counterclockwise direction. And minus angles are measured in clockwise direction, negative angles. So from here I have to move 90 degrees upward direction as like this, so that I will get the inductor voltage which is equal to VL bar magnitude. How much is VL bar magnitude? Tell me. I into XL. VL bar is equal to I into XL. Angle is 90 degrees. You can see here. So this is what? 90 degrees. Now let us bring this voltage VL onto the tip of VR. I'll tell you why we need to do that. Just I'll be bringing this voltage across the inductor onto the tip of VR. Now this is what the phasor additions. See here that phasor sum of VR plus VL. Let me write this as VL bar. VR plus VL is what the total voltage which is V. This is what the total voltage V bar. How much is the total voltage magnitude? Tell me. I into mod ZT. So magnitude of this is equal to I into mod ZT. How much is the angle of this? Theta, positive. So this angle made by this is what? Theta. So this is what the phasor diagram representing all voltages and currents of this series RL circuit. Now here, interestingly, we can identify some triangles which are very much important. So prior to that, let me write this VL means I into XL, VR means I into R. Now try to see, I could predict out of this one triangle. One is voltage which representing I into R, which is the resistor voltage. Another is the voltage across the inductor which represents I into XL. These are only magnitudes. Try to observe. I kept everywhere mod. So now the total voltage is V, whose magnitude is I into mod ZT. So angle made by this total voltage with the current or the resistive voltage is theta. This we call as voltage triangle. Voltage triangle. In which try to observe that this is the resistive voltage drop. This is the inductor voltage drop magnitudes. This is the total voltage across the entire RL circuit. Now angle made with the voltage and current is theta. This angle we can call impedance angle. Theta can be called as impedance angle. Why? Because see here, so while transforming this total impedance into polar form, we got this theta. Theta is imaginary part of the impedance divided by real part of the impedance. That's why this can be called as impedance angle. This can also be called as power factor angle. Very important term. Power factor angle. Theta can be called as power factor angle. So what is power factor angle is basically angle between voltage means total voltage and current of the circuit. What is the total voltage of the given RL circuit? V, capital V. See here, this is capital V. What is the total current of this RL circuit is I. The angle between this total voltage and current is referred as power factor angle. So if you want, you can just try to make in this way angle of voltage minus angle of current. If you want, you can verify how much is the angle of voltage and how much is the angle of current. Tell me. Angle of voltage is, you can see here, total voltage angle is theta, positive. So theta minus angle of current is 0. So which is equal to simply theta. This is what we call as power factor angle, or it can also be called as impedance angle. Very important. Next is just if we divide this voltage triangle each side by current, then I will get one more triangle which is very important. These informations are very much helpful in doing the problems. So try to understand carefully. If I divide each side of these triangles by current, capital I, what I will get? Tell me. I will be removed. Now we can just, if I divide this by I, what I will get? Simply XL. If I divide this by what I will get? R. So let me remove this I. Let me remove this I also. So what I got is, see, this is XL, this is R, this is mod ZT. How much is mod ZT? Square root of this real, that is R square, plus this 90-degree position vector XL square. This we call as impedance triangle. Impedance triangle. So from these two triangles we can make many conclusions that the power factor theta can be written, power factor angle theta can be written in many ways. So can I write the theta as like this from the voltage triangle? Tan inverse of opposite side by adjacent side, which is VL magnitude divided by VR magnitude. Clear? And we can also write this same theta as cos inverse of, what is cos theta? Or in another way, you can write cos theta just directly. Cos theta is equal to, from this voltage triangle, adjacent side by hypotenuse. What is adjacent side? VR magnitude divided by total voltage magnitude V. See here, VR magnitude divided by total voltage. This can also be written in form of sine. Sine theta is equal to, tell me?
Opposite by hypotenuse.
Exactly. So VL magnitude divided by V magnitude. So same thing can also be written from the impedance triangle as like this. So tan theta is equal to XL divided by R, or cos theta is equal to R divided by mod ZT, or sin theta is equal to XL divided by mod ZT. Just from these triangles. See here, this is mod ZT, this is XL, this is R. So if we want the power factor angle, we can use either of these principles, that any of the tan theta, cos theta or sin theta, then we can find theta. Then here let me introduce one more thing. Cosine of angle between voltage and current is referred as power factor. Power factor. This is one of the important terminology you should carefully observe. Cosine of angle between voltage and current is referred as power factor. So power factor simply can be written as cos of angle between voltage and current. We already seen it is equivalent to impedance angle, which is theta. which is equal to theta, which we call that as power factor angle. So power factor can be stated as simply cos theta. Now let us see one simple problem on this. So for which just note that a series RL circuit having resistance of 5 ohms and inductance L of 12 millihenry is is connected is connected to to a to to 230 volts 50 hertz single phase supply supply single phase supply. What we need to do is that calculate the reactance reactance of what? Inductance. Next is the total impedance, impedance means ZT, reactance means XL. Next is the third point is the current drawn by the circuit, the current drawn by the circuit means I, magnitude of the current. And the last point is, let me say, the power factor of the circuit. Power factor of the circuit. Okay. So when you see this data, so quickly try to put everything into phasor form in the circuit as like this. So I have resistance and we have inductor and which are connected in series, which forms a series RL circuit. So I will say this as directly J omega L, which is equal to simply J XL, and the voltage across this is VR and voltage across this is VL bar, and total voltage is V bar and current is I bar. Everything is in phasor form. Now quickly find the things which are required. Tell me. So from the first, what I need? Reactance. Which reactance? Inductive reactance. How much is that? Omega L. Tell me. Omega is 2 pi F into L. So this is 2 pi, F is 50, L is 12 millihenry. How much is this value? So let me calculate quickly. So 2 pi into 50 into 12 into 10 power minus 3. So 6 by 5 pi, which is 3.76. Did you got same thing? Just cross verify. Ohms. What are the units for inductive reactance? Ohms. Next is what we need? The total impedance. We already seen total impedance. How much we got? Simply adding the impedance of each element. Resistive impedance is R, inductive impedance is JXL. So R is, how much is R? 5 plus JXL. XL is already calculated, so 3.7699. So you can put as it is, or you can convert this into polar form. So just try to convert this into polar form. 3.7699. 5 plus 3.7699. So if I'll express these things in polar form, it look like 6.2619 at an angle of 37.015. So see, now it should be compared as like this. Z has magnitude. How much is that? ZT mod. How much is the angle? Theta. Now I got the theta and I got the mod ZT. So next what I need? Current drawn by the circuit. How can we find the current drawn by the circuit? I is equal to total voltage divided by total impedance. How much is the voltage? Voltage is given. How much is that? 230 volts. Remember that if something is given in this form, the given voltage is assumed to be RMS value. RMS value. Given value is treated as RMS value. If it is not specified anything, it is treated as RMS value. Now, I can write voltage as simply 230 at an angle 0. Why? Because they didn't given any information about the angle. If it is not given, take that itself as reference, which is 0 degree. And with respect to that, now we will get the current angle. What we did previously is that we assumed the current angle 0, then we determine the voltage angle. Now it is reversed, that if voltage angle is not given, you can assume as 0, then with respect to that we can find the current angle. Now let us see how much we get the current angle with this. So how much is ZT? So I will use the polar form 6.2619 at an angle of 37.015. So how much we will get this? Check it. So 230 divided by this will gives, so 36.729 at an angle of minus 37.015. Is this correct? Amperes. Now the current I is equal to, I is what? Magnitude of the phasor, which is mod I bar is equal to I, which is equal to 36.729 amperes. If you need angle, you can utilize. If not, just leave it. Only current amplitude I need, so I found it. What else is required? Power factor of the circuit. So tell me, what is the power factor of the circuit? Directly you can write. So power factor we usually represent as P dot F, means power factor, which is equal to cos theta, which can also be written as cos of angle of the voltage minus angle of the current. In either way you can do that. So this cos theta, theta is the impedance angle. Directly you can get as cos of 37.015. You will get some value. Check it, how much is this value? 37.015, 015, 015. So 0.798, 798. And I can get same thing from this expression also. Cos of angle of the voltage, how much is the angle of the voltage? Check it, 0. Voltage angle is 0. Minus angle of the current, how much is the angle of the current? Minus 37.015. See? So this is equal to, again, minus minus plus, you will get same value. So it doesn't matter whatever may be the methodology you are choosing, you will get power factor to be same. Directly, if you know the impedance and its angle, you can say cos of that angle is what? The power factor. If you don't know impedance, if you know voltage and current and its angles, take the angular difference of voltage and current and add the cos. You will get the power factor. So in this way, we can find the various things required in this AC circuits.